What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word alliance or coalition? Have you heard the word coalition? If you haven't, don't worry, let's stick to alliance. What is the first thing that comes to your mind? For me, it is something on the lines of, say, Batman and Robin, or Shrek and the Donkey, that kind of thing. For you, whatever it is, let me know in the comments. Okay. In the corporate world, alliances as well as coalitions are less about defeating villains like Batman and Robin does, and more about getting people as well as departments to work together to achieve common goals. But it still sounds heroic, doesn't it? So, the first things first, what exactly are we talking about when we talk about this managing of alliances and coalitions here? In any organization, you are going to find different individuals, departments, or even external stakeholders trying to pull things in their direction to be favorable to them. That is quite natural. But sometimes, to get what they want or to influence a particular decision, they will team up and like an alliance or a coalition. To give you or to explain briefly, an alliance is like a partnership, like a stable partnership, I must say. Alliance is like a partnership kind of a thing, and it usually happens between two parties. It could also happen between more than two parties. Usually when we say an alliance, we think about a two party alliance which is formed for mutual benefit and for a longer term. That is why we say stable partnership. A coalition, on the other hand, is a temporary coming together of multiple parties or groups to achieve a specific goal, often to gain influence or bargaining power. So this coalition is, in one a single phrase, is like a temporary teaming up for a cause. That is coalition. Alliance is like a stable partnership. Coalition is like a temporary team up. Now that you know what alliance and coalition is, before we get any further onto this unit, can you tell me which of this will be a better description for Avengers? Just to make this class a little bit more interesting, can you tell me? Are they alliance or are they coalition? I want you to comment your thoughts below. Now, neither alliances nor coalitions have a fixed place in the organizational chart. You're not going to walk into a organization or company or an office and find a department of coalitions anywhere or department of alliances anywhere. But they are powerful. They are based on relationships, shared interests, and sometimes even shared frustrations. When two or more organizations, okay, two or more organizations, they get into a partnership to achieve some shared goals by combining their resources, their knowledge and expertise, then we have something called as strategic alliances. Okay, these strategic alliances help companies enter new markets or share their risks as well as benefits. Okay, not simply risks, as well as benefits also. Pool their strengths, gain competitive advantage, drive agility, respond quickly to the markets. All these things happen when strategic alliances are formed. For the companies that or the organizations that enter into the strategic alliances, they can do all of this. So what are the some of the key characteristics of such a strategic alliance? Collaboration as in the partners work together for achieving their shared goals. There is mutual benefit. They share risks as well as benefits, right? Both parties gain from this strategic alliance, from this arrangement. Similarly, flexibility. Though we say alliances are long term, it's not a completely mandatory thing that it has to be long term. It has the flexibility. The alliance can be temporary or long term, but we usually work in a way that we want to take this alliance forward for the longest possible time. Also, there is resource sharing, right? We said in the definition of strategic alliances itself, we said that they are going to achieve their shared goals by combining their resources, their knowledge, and their expertise. So, these are all the key characteristics of strategic alliances. Now, there are mainly speaking, there are two types of alliances: equity alliances as well as non-equity alliances. Equity alliances are alliances where partners invest in each other, like a joint venture. Two organizations, two partners, they come together and they join their hands and they are moving forward. Partners invest in each other. Equity alliance. The other type of alliance is non-equity alliance. So here there is no ownership stakes for any of the parties involved. So examples of such alliances could be licensing, franchising, subcontracting, such kind of activities. So these are the two forms of strategic alliances. Now, you might be wondering why organizations form such coalitions or alliances. Simple: the power of numbers. Sometimes your individual influence in an organization might be limited, but when you band together with others who want the same outcome, then you amplify your voice, right? Just like how you take membership in trade unions. So it is not so much different uh, for organizations as well. They help organizations enter new markets. They help to share their risk. They help to what you can say, make a better standing. All right. Now, understanding these alliances can help businesses choose the right partners, manage relationships effectively, as well as adapt to the changing needs of both organizations according to the market shifts. Right? Because all of these things, whether you want to improve your profitability, you want to enter a new market segments, whatever it might be, whether you want to innovate, all these things, whether or not you are going to be able to do it, is dependent on the what you can say, it's dependent on the partner you choose. Correct. So you can say that alliances also evolve just like relationships. They have certain phases, four phases we can say. Alliances go through these four stages of evolution. Courtship, this is the first stage. So here we explore the parties, they explore their fit and the potential benefits. Like, if I get into a strategic alliance with this person, sorry, not this person, this particular organization, what benefit am I seeing? Where are we compatible? Are our cultures compatible? Are our what you can say, combined strength good enough? These kind of things. Both the companies or both the organization who are going to go get into this alliance, both of them will do this exploration. This is the first stage of any strategic alliance, and it is named courtship. Okay. The second stage is engagement. Here we or the organizations, they formalize the goals, their roles, as well as plans of how they are going to get into the strategic alliance, and from then on, what are they going to do. And once they get into the alliance, they will, or the third step is discovering the discuss the differences, like their cultural or strategic differences. Once they start cooperating, once they start working as an alliance, that is when these differences start popping up most. During courtship phase we explore, of course, but it is like we said, you cannot, all these things are not like buying an apple. You simply can't bite and see whether it is sweet or not and buy it. Sometimes we'll have to look and feel. That courtship is looking at the apple, feeling it, how many, whether there is any apparent rotting or something like that, or the color has faded, what is it, that kind, or is it wrinkled, that kind of we can explore. That is the courtship. But once you get that apple home and you bite it, that is when you will discover how exactly that apple is. Like that, once you start working, you will start seeing the you will start discovering the differences, like in terms of culture or strategy and all. That is the third step of evolution of alliances. The fourth step is bridging of differences. So now that you have discovered the differences, you will create mechanisms for communicating as well as conflict resolution and adaptation. These are the four stages or of evolution of alliances, just like any relationship that we might have in our day-to-day lives. Right now, there are also certain life cycle stages for alliances. So alliances go through four cycle stages. Nascent stage is the early stage. Here, this is like the first stage, early stage. Here we go for low equity deals like licensing and all. Frenzied is when you have rapid growth and joint ventures kind of a thing. Then turbulent is where you get challenges from differences or uh, market changes. That is turbulence. And mature is stable long-term collaboration or amicable, or it could either be stable long-term collaboration or it could be amicable exit, either way. So these are the four life cycle stages of an alliance. Similarly, an alliance have certain guiding principles also, like leveraging complementary strengths or maintaining autonomy, mutual benefit, trust and transparency, flexibility and adaptability, shared vision and goals, clear conflict resolution. So, these are all the guiding principles of a good strategic alliance. So, guiding these coalitions to success is where things get really interesting. Managing these alliances. On one side, they can help us to push innovation, solve problems quickly, or get support for important projects. But on the flip side, they can also block our decisions, create internal politics, or slow down change if it is not managed carefully. So, what are the key factors that can make any alliances or managing any alliance successful? First of all, there should be a compatibility fit. That means the goals, values, culture, capabilities, they should align. There should be clear, measurable goals or clear objectives. We should be able to set measurable targets, milestones, and metrics. Only then we can make the alliance successful. If the objectives of that alliance is vague, then we will not know whether that alliance is successful or not. Correct. Same way. Similarly, a fair contribution of resources and rewards should be there. The risks as well as the benefits should be shared. There should be regular information sharing as well as joint decision making. Open communication has to be there, in short. We have to be flexible enough to adapt to the market as well as technological or strategic changes. Mutual respect as well as trust, very 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 important. You have to value each partner's strengths as well as contributions. Similarly, long term perspective. Treat these alliances as enduring partnerships and not as one off deals. Like, for example, if I am to give a good example, good Indian example of a successful alliance, I can say Walmart and Flipkart. Walmart, what they did, Walmart has their retail know-how, and Flipkart has local insight to dominate the Indian e-commerce. So when they merged, or when they came as an alliance, Walmart Flipkart as an alliance leverages Walmart's retail know-how and Flipkart's local insight, and together they are now dominating the Indian e-commerce. Right. So that is the success factors, the key factors that make any alliance successful. And this managing or this making alliances success, this is where leadership comes in. A good manager or a good HR professional needs to be politically aware. And I'm not saying it in any kind of a shady sense, but rather in a smart and emotionally intelligent way. You need to know who holds influence, who supports whom, and how to navigate those informal networks. So it is a bit like the director of a movie, knowing which actors, like employees or teams, to cast in which scenes, that is, in which projects, how to manage their egos and still get a blockbuster result. That is all in the hands of leadership. And how do we do all this? Through communication, through trust. You need to know when to build alliance as well as when to break them. Yeah, sometimes breaking a coalition or an alliance is also becomes necessary, especially if it starts to be harmful or if it starts blocking your progress. That is also part of the power play in organizations. Now, before winding up this unit, and with this unit, the whole of MMPC 6, let us look at the role of these strategic alliances in emerging markets. What are emerging markets? Emerging markets are countries whose economies are moving from developing to developed status, like India, Brazil, South Africa, such countries. We are like the teenagers of global economy. We are growing fast, we are full of potential, but still we are also facing some growing pains like political instability or weaker institutions. So, what is the role of strategic alliances in such emerging markets? Let us look. Strategic alliances in emerging markets, they help to bridge the resource gaps. How? Through sharing capital, the technology, the skills, similarly the infrastructure. Through sharing all these, strategic alliances help bridge resource gaps, enhance the competitiveness by combining the strengths to improve the quality, capacity, as well as services. Access new markets. We can use the partners can use each other's network and distribution to enter new markets. Similarly, we can foster innovation, collaborate on research and development, share the best practices with each other, attract foreign investments, and gain credibility as well as funding. Facilitate technology transfer, like we can upgrade our local capabilities or build institutional capacity, support regulatory as well as market development. All these things are what you can say roles of strategic alliances in emerging matters, in emerging markets. So why should we do all of this? What are the opportunities in the emerging markets? So we saw the role of strategic alliance in emerging markets. Now let us look at the opportunities that such a strategic alliance opens up for both the firms in an emerging market. Okay, what all can you think of? If say you are the organization that is going to enter an emerging market, then what opportunities will you have by entering into a strategic alliance with a company that is existing in an emerging market in an emerging country? You will have access to a large and growing customer base. Like say if a US company enters a strategic alliance with an Indian company, the US firm is going to get a large and growing consumer base here. They will get abundant resources and skilled workforce. Indian government is giving a lot of incentives for partnerships so they can make use of it. Similarly, technological leapfrogging, knowledge and skills transfer, all of these things are possible. What is technological leapfrogging? Technological leapfrogging is when a country or a business skips all the technologies and directly adopts the latest advanced ones. Like how many people from the rural parts of India, they may never have had a landline telephone, but they have now jumped straight to mobile phones, right? So that is technological leapfrogging. So this is also one of the opportunities that an emerging market gives us. But it is not all roses. There are some thorns. There are some challenges. So what are some of the challenges that you can think about in emerging markets? What all could be the challenges? One thing, uh, let me write it here. Challenges. What all can you think of? There are cultural differences. The culture differences are there. Of course, if you compare India or some what you can say developed country to did I say India to okay, I meant say US or Europe to a developed country to India. Naturally, in India or in any of the developing or underdeveloped countries, you will have lesser infrastructure, right? Or you can say poor infrastructure. Emerging markets have a infrastructure. So that is another challenge in emerging markets. Similarly, regulatory uncertainty will be there. That is another challenge. Limited capital or technological accesses, that is another challenge. Similarly, power imbalances with global partners, that is another challenge. So, culture, poor infrastructure, regulatory uncertainty, limited capital and tech access, power imbalances, all these things are challenges that comes along with the opportunities of entering the emerging markets. So, once again, let us recap. Why do we form strategic alliances in emerging markets? So that we can bridge resource gaps, we can enhance competitiveness, access new markets, foster innovation, attract investments, enable tech transfer, all sorts of things. So because of all of these, it is a good idea to form strategic alliances in emerging markets. And when we do that, what are the opportunities that we will have? We will have a growing consumer base, resources, skills at our disposal, government incentives, we can have a technological leapfrogging as well as knowledge transfer. But at the same time, these opportunities, they come with challenges like cultural gaps, infrastructure issues, regulatory uncertainty, limited capital and technology, power imbalances, all these things are challenges. So, to sum it all up, alliances and coalitions are the part of the political life of any organization. You cannot avoid them, but you can definitely learn how to manage them effectively. Think of it like your college group projects. If you know how to form the right group and manage the dynamics and get everyone to contribute, then you will end up getting a great presentation and maybe even good grades and a few laughs along the way, right? So, those were the important concepts of Unit 11. And with that, we have covered almost all the important concepts of MMPH 6 as per the IGNOU MBA syllabus. Thank you so much for choosing Anu's Classroom as your study partner. I hope you have subscribed to the channel as well as enabled the notifications. If you haven't already, then consider looking at the rapid roundup of all the other units as well. Some of them are quite fun, some of them might be a little boring for you. Either way, it is a mix of all of these. So consider subscribing, consider checking out other Anu's Classroom videos. You might get something good out of them as well for your term and examinations. So I hope I will see you around in the Anu's Classroom community. Until I catch you up in another session, stay curious, stay organized, and a little bit political also, but ethical politics. Keep doing your very best. All the best for your term and examination. Happy learning.